What are 3 things you believe that you need to be happy in this world today?
I don't think that men should ever consider how happy they are. I think that for a man, the paradigm of analyzing yourself based on your mood is an incorrect way to approach life. I don't think it makes you competitive. I just don't think it makes you competitive. I feel like as a man, life is ultra competitive and you're constantly competing against other men, whether you realize it or not. The girl you want, other men want. If you get her, it's a competition. The dollar you want, other men want. If you get it, it's a competition. The status you want, other men want. If you get it, you won the competition. Man, life as a man is hyper competitive, and you need to build a mindset that allows you to compete at the highest echelons and the highest levels. And in my experience, the people who compete at the highest levels are not people who have any concern or care for how they feel on the day. You are a man with duties. You're a man with responsibilities. You must perform. You have things you must do, and you must do them regardless of how you feel. When things go wrong, or I'm feeling things I don't want to feel, or bad things are happening, that's when I'm like, okay, I currently cannot sleep. I've completed the day's tasks. I've tried to go to bed. I can't sleep. More shit has to be done. That's when the amazing things happen in my life. When I was heartbroken, when I was whatever, everyone's been heartbroken. I can't remember a specific example. I hit the gym harder, right? If something goes wrong with your payment processor, that's when you get fucking inventive. That's business, right? That's when you get inventive. So all the bad things that happen to you as a man, if you're stoic, you get to take unlimited energy. Heartbreak is unlimited energy. So is depression. So is rage. So is sadness. All these negative emotions they tell you to collapse behind. You know you're supposed to go to the gym. You know you're supposed to train, learn how to fight. You know all these things. You don't do them. That's your decision. It's your prerogative. I didn't make that choice. I made the choice to do it all. I decided all of that. And every single man watching this can do the exact same thing, which is why I have very little pity when I do these streams and people think I'm arrogant or I'm rude to people, or even to you earlier when I was making jokes and I've been joking with the girls.
You're
saying
good,
drink the
bro.
soy latte.
I'm not, yeah.
Of course, and I know we're only joking, right? But the point is, that's a conscious decision you made. I would never make fun of someone who hasn't got a choice. I wouldn't make fun of someone born with one arm.
I have a choice, though.
But if you've made a fucking decision to be less than you should be, then I believe you should be mocked for that decision.
I agree. I feel like, yeah, because like you're not living up to your full potential. Like it's your choice to basically not live up to your full potential.
If you want motivation to push hard in your business, if you were happy and excited every day, you'd work harder. So how do you become happy and excited? Well, you have to be the man. How do you be the man? We've got to be strong. But it's all linked.
Comes down to you. Yeah,
it comes down to you. Yeah. It's all linked. So if you wake up every day and look in the mirror and go, I'm strong as an ox. Look at this. I'm built like Hercules. I'm about to go make some fucking money. Yeah. That's different than waking up and going, out of breath out the shower and shit. You know what I'm saying? So there is definitely a link. I think physicality is linked to everything. I don't think you can deny that. Physicality is linked to everything in your mind. I couldn't be me if I wasn't so fucking strong. I couldn't be me. I know I'm an objectively strong man, and it makes me happy. I say this all the time. Every single mental health month. Depression's the worst thing in the world. It's disease. You think you're helping. You're doing the opposite. Stop telling people that they can't fix it. Stop telling them it's a disease that's not their fault. And start telling people, look, if you work hard, you can feel better. You're depressed now, but if you go to the gym and you work out and you train, you get a good body, you start getting social, you get some friends, go to some social clubs, start to meet people, start to do things, you will feel better. That is far more healthy than talking about it's a disease we can't fix, take these pills. The gym has been proven to fix more depression than antidepressants. This has been proven. This is statistical. So when I say depression isn't real, people say, what you're saying is dangerous and you're going to hurt people. I'm trying to help people. I'm trying to wake people the fuck up. If you're watching this and you're depressed, go to the gym tomorrow morning. And I guarantee you, if you're, no matter how depressed you are, if you're considering suicide, promise me this, get a 6-pack first. And by the time you got the 6-pack, you won't want to do it anymore. That's how it works. This is why not enough men are motivated enough. As soon as a woman, she finds a man she can look up to and go, okay, you know what? This motherfucker's taught, he's smart, he's strong, his life's in order, he's never fucking up, everything's on track, he's never messed up, he's never had that big rehab moment, he's not an alcoholic, he's never done drugs, his life is completely in order, he's a multimillionaire and everything's on track for him. And he knows more than me about everything. I'm just gonna shut up. They like that. They like saying, okay, he's the man. So it's not even a problem for me in that respect. And it's not an act I put on. A lot of these guys in the, I don't know, male space.
Yeah.
Are pretenders. So they pretend to be something. I am the man and she is the girl, but they're all full of shit. I proved my point a million times over. You can YouTube me and you see me whoop asses. I proved it. So my relationship with women is I absolutely adore women, but I do not see them as my equal because I don't think they're capable like a man is. Bruce Lee says be like water. And people see that as be fluid and just go with the flow. I disagree. If you're like water, you're necessary for life. You are scary when you're enraged. You're powerful. You're beautiful when you're calm. You're so many things when you're like water, right? So if I'm enraged, it's like water behind a dam. You just got to put the dam in place. And you got to get the turbo, the hydroelectrics put in. Don't tsunami your life. Put the energy somewhere. I find it amazing that people will sit there and spend all their time upgrading that character, making as much money as they can, getting the best guns, getting strong, getting some hoes, meeting important people, getting the best car. They'll do all that in a game, but they won't do it in real life. I find that incredible. Like, my life is GTA. I don't need to play a game for GTA. If I want a gun, I'll fucking buy it. If I want a car, I'll fucking buy it. I want a bitch, I'll get her. It's me. I am GTA. I don't see why people play the games. They play the games because they're scared of loss. Because if you die in the game, you get another chance. If you lose in the game, you get another chance. In life, you get one shot.
Damn, that's...
But if you get some balls, that's what life is as a game. That's what life is as a man. This is one big video game. You get to upgrade your character. You're not born with any value. All these women that you just put me on with are born with value. They're pretty already. They're gorgeous already. They're good looking enough. Even if they're a 5, someone's going to give a shit they exist because someone wants to fuck them. As a man, if you don't make yourself valuable, you have no value. You have to get up and do it. Just like a video game, you start with fucking 0. You have to decide if you want to complete it. You have to upgrade your character. There's only one thing on the planet you actually have control over. You can't control the weather. You can't control your health. You can get a brain aneurysm or a heart attack. You can't control other people. The only thing you can actually really truly control is what you think. That's the only thing you can change in real time. You can be thinking of red and change it to blue. So why are you not controlling your own mind? It's your asset. It's your ally. It's your friend. Why would you make an enemy out of the only thing you have control over? I refuse to do that. It doesn't make sense to me. The worst thing on earth that could happen to a man could happen to me. And I guarantee you, I would still label myself happy. I'm happy because that's who I am. That's how I view myself. That's what I've decided.
You have the will to fight, the will to experiment, the will to succeed, and the will to fail, and then keep going and going and going. That's accurate.
That's absolutely accurate. I think another thing about fighting will teach you is that it's kind of all or nothing. So my view to money always was, I either want to be a multi-millionaire or I don't want to work at all. So my view is very much like, I'd rather have my freedom and train and just bang girls on the beach in Thailand and live off $20 a day so I could afford noodles than work and be some middle income, go to work every day, sit on the motorway. I can pay my bills. I don't have much left. I'd rather, it was all or nothing for me. It's the same with fighting. You either win or you lose. I either wanted to have it all or I didn't want to play the game. I didn't want to play the game. I didn't want to be in the middle. So for that, I was always prepared to do sacrificial shit. I was always prepared to go crazy or try a crazy idea because I had to pull something off. Like I got offered all the time. Hey man, you can come. I got offered in Oslo. You can come and you can train people at our gym and it's $3,000 a month and you get a free apartment. You get to live in Norway and there's hot girls and you get to hold pads and you can still train. And I was still like, no, I don't want to work. I still got a job. No, I don't want to fucking hold pads with some dickhead. No.
Yeah.
I want freedom. And freedom either comes from being completely broke or rich. One of the best things about money is I've managed to create my reality absolutely. I don't talk to anyone I don't want to talk to. If you come to me and say, we can make $100 million, but I don't like your shirt, then you can get fucked. That's my life now. Because I don't need money and I don't like you. So that's who I am, right? So I've created my reality, absolutely. And the number one thing I will not do is talk to negative people. I don't want to hear, I don't care what your story is. I don't care what happened. If all you do is complain, you are not around me because it is sticky. It's sticky to you. It's sticky to the universe. It leaves a residue. I don't want to hear it. Everyone around me is happy. And not only happy, we're the kind of people, if we're in a trench and we're getting shelled, we're laughing.
Yep.
We're like, missed! Woo-hoo. That's who we are. There's no such thing as too much masculinity if it's genuinely masculine. Genuine masculinity is not out here to hurt people. It's absolutely the opposite. It's out here to protect. And when bad things happen, they call traditionally masculine men. If you need a firefighter, you need a masculine man.
When you call the police because of the problem you had, you want masculine men. And as soon as a woman or a man is in trouble, when you look for backup, you look for masculine men. And masculine men have a duty to provide and protect those they care about. We have a duty to do things we don't feel like doing because we know we're supposed to do them. And that's why we stayed in the Titanic and died. Those were masculine men.
Where did you get your views about this from?
This is what I grew up with. This is the family I grew up around. And
your father, your mother?
Yeah, and the world I lived in. And I think a lot of the things I'm saying now about masculinity and how people should act in the world, how the world should function, were considered completely normal and accepted by everybody only 20 years ago. I think the world's just lost its mind.
How are you going to complain that it's hard to be the man, but then also understand that being the man has value? They are linked. You cannot separate the two. It's a logic fail. If you love the idea of being that character you dream of yourself to be, then you should love the fact it's hard to become that man because it means no one else can do it. This is what I love. I love everything about my life. I know the shit I've been through to become who I am, and I wouldn't trade a second of it. Because there's also this massive juxtaposition, which is so important for masculine happiness and contentment. I'll tell you the coolest thing about being rich. Remember when I was broke? That's all it is. It's only cool to sit there with my brother in the fucking Nurse Rat restaurant with Salt Bae being an idiot, spending 15 G's and saying, do you remember when we didn't have a penny?
Right.
15 grand for dinner? We never had 15 grand in our savings account in our lives.
Bam.
Do you remember that time we were living off those 10p packs of noodles for 2 weeks? Do you remember? You need this juxtaposition. There is no light without dark. You will not appreciate your six pack unless you didn't have one and you had to earn it. That's how the world works. So when I talk to these dudes like, oh, but it's, you know what, Tate? Yeah, I agree, but you know, it's hard. It's hard. Of course it is. It's supposed to be. And if you're not cut out for it, then fuck off and live a normal existence and die. Sit there, letting other men enjoy the spoils of being a man and fucking die. If that's what you want to do, is just sit there and exist and then fade into history unremembered. That's your decision. People say that depression is stigmatized. It's the complete opposite. It's accepted now to the point where it's almost promoted. It's insane. Let me tell you something. Depression is not real. Feeling depressed is real. You can feel depressed, but you feel depressed, and that is a natural biological evolutionary trigger for you to change something in your life. That's your own mind telling you you're unhappy about X. If I went to jail today, I'd be depressed because I'm in jail. Right. I haven't caught depression. I don't have a disease. I'm just upset with my situation. Yep. I have people mess with me all the time. I'm fat and I can't get a girlfriend because I'm depressed. I'm like, no, pancake lover. You're depressed because you're fat and you can't get a girlfriend. Do you understand? This is the point, right? So for a lot of people, your life is depressing. A lot of you out there, if you're sitting there and you say you suffer from depression, you probably live a depressing life. You probably live a depressing life. So if I was you, I'd be depressed. But if you were me, you'd be happy. You know what could solve depression for most poor people? $1 million in the bank. Yep. Boom. So how is it a disease? This absolute acceptance of depression and acceptance of weakness. When you accept anything, to a degree, you're promoting it. Weakness is promoted now in men, right? Yeah. So let's take Robin Williams as an example. Robin Williams killed himself.
I was just going to say him.
Yeah. Robin Williams, right? Famous. He could be banging 19-year-olds for the rest of his life. Multi-millionaire. Everyone loves him. How could he possibly kill himself? I'll tell you why. Because when he walked into the therapist's office and said, I feel depressed, the therapist said, okay, here's some mind-altering drugs. Start taking these for the next 10 years. He was in therapy for 10 years. Oh, damn. If I had to take mind-altering drugs and talk about sad shit for 6 hours a day for 10 years, I'd kill myself. But if he would have walked into the therapist's office and the therapist said to him, you're Robin Williams. There are people in the world with no food. Yeah. There are families in Syria. There are school buses being bombed in Yemen. There are people who lost their entire family in a car crash today. You're Robin Williams and everyone you love is in perfect health. You're a selfish idiot. Get out of my office. Get some balls. He'd still be alive today. The cure made it worse. And this whole society of accepting depression, as soon as someone's depressed, instantly go to them. Oh, poor you. It's okay. We know you can't help it. You can't help it. Why are you telling people they can't help it? Why are you reinforcing that mindset in people? If you come to me and say you're depressed, I say, I will fix you. And you know what's crazy? When I said this depression thing wasn't real, do you know how many people stuck up for depression? You don't understand. I'm depressed. Depression's real. I was like, if it's so horrible, why are you defending it? You sound like it's a PR team. Why? I thought it was ruining your life, but you are desperate for me to believe in it. You want me to believe in it. You're sticking up for it. You're defending depression. Yeah.
try to convince me it's real because it's your cure-all excuse for failure. When you're depressed, you can fail in every human metric. I fail at everything, but I'm depressed. It's not my fault. No, you're a failure. That's all you are, because you're not trying very hard. If you live in a house, I say this all the time. This is the reason I don't believe in depression. Because I don't believe in depression, I cannot become depressed. Yeah. No matter what the worst thing that could possibly happen to me on earth, I will feel sad, but I will recover and I will not become depressed because I don't believe in depression. If you're in an old haunted house, right? You have two people in two haunted houses. One believes in ghosts and one doesn't. You hear some noise in the night. The wind blows, right? The man who believes in ghosts is like, oh no, a ghost. Now he's scared, right? He wants an exorcist. He can't sleep. He's scared about ghosts. He's paranoid. The guy who doesn't believe in ghosts goes, wind, whatever, and goes back to sleep. Do you understand that it's the belief that gives it power? Right. If you don't believe in ghosts, the ghost can't hurt you. If you don't believe in depression, you can't become depressed. And I refuse to believe in something that's going to weaken me. Why would I believe in something that's going to weaken my ability to deal with problems in life? Why would I do that? I'm temporarily immortal. Do you understand? Do you understand? I'm temporarily immortal, and I'm not going to waste my living years believing in things which take power from me, because I'm not an idiot. So if you're going to sit there and go, depression is real, actually, you don't understand the problems I'm going through, you're a moron. You are a moron. And the great thing about morons is, as you lose, there's no light without dark, right? There's no joy without pain. Of course. For me to be a winner, there needs to be losers. If you want to be depressed and sit around broke while I'm flexing in the Lambo, then do it. Go do it. But you're not going to convince me to join your way of thinking. The last thing, anyone who's watching this, I want you to understand, the last thing you should ever do is adopt the thinking of someone who is sad. Bam. Why would you want to think like the sad person? I'm sad and I'm semi-suicidal. You should have the same views and beliefs as me. Get the fuck out of here. No, depression. It ain't real. There, I'm just blowing out the water. It's not real. You can come at me and say whatever you want. It's not real.
The bumpy road to better. A lot of people teach about better as if it were magic, as if it would happen simply or easily. In reality, it's not that simple.
Listen, folks, success is hard.
It's not easy. It's hard changing your life.
You don't get old without having suffered loss. Every year brings some sort of challenge with it. As you go along the way, you gain some things and you lose some things. You win some battles and you lose some battles.
We just need to get that part straight.
And wisdom develops in the life of those who have capitalized on their pain to draw conclusions. How you react to the famine determines whether you make it to the food. You can't just pray against the famine. You can't just stay in the same spot and do the same things that you've always done and expect to get a different result. You've got to take action.
The difference between a dream and a wish is something you just hope it happens. But a dream, you put actions behind. Wishing isn't going to get you anywhere.
We don't understand the human requirement in the miracles of God. We walk away with praise to God, but absolve ourselves of human responsibility.
You can pray, God, help me to feel better. Are you eating right? Are you exercising? Then God will do what you're asking. But you can't override natural laws and expect to live a blessed, healthy life.
God has created us to be collaborative in the miraculous. That we have a responsibility to take action. Just because you're spiritual doesn't mean you get to pray for a job and stay at home. I'm just going to watch TV and hit the remote control. You'll never get to better if you don't get on the road. Jacob says, if you don't move, you're going to die. How could you let me die and I'm a child of God? You didn't move. And don't act like God has failed you when you have failed to move.
When he sees you doing all you can, then he'll make things happen that you can't. Make this decision. I am not going to live complacent, passive. I'm going to pursue what God put in my heart.
God has an incredible life for you. but you got to be willing to go through something to get to it. Success ain't free. You got to go get it.
Look at somebody and say, it'll work if you work it. Whatever it is you are trying to build, if you won't be hungry for it, if you won't sweat for it, you don't have the right to get it. You have not got the right. What is your goal, and what will you put into it in order to get what you're trying to get from God? How much?
How bad do you want what God has put in your heart? You have to be more determined than the opposition. Your attitude is, if I have to believe my whole life, I'm not going to stop believing. I'm going to keep pursuing what God put in my heart.
I rebuke every giving up spirit. I rebuke every quitting spirit. The devil is a lie. He's trying to talk you out of your future and tell you you cannot do what God called you to do. Every discouraged person, every person who's been feeling like it's just not working, this was your message. It will work if you work it. The church has failed its parishioners because we have been real heavy on the praise and real light on the business. God will use famine as an instrument to force you out of your comfort zone. It'll make you move. It'll make you travel. It'll put you on the road. Somebody say, I'm on the road. I'm on the road to better. There's something I'm after. There's something I want to see done. And I'm tired of sitting around assessing the same old troubles and going through the same old things. I'm tired of complaining. I got to move from here. Deliver me from people who will not take action. And God says action is required on you. You got to get on the road. And God knows that some of us won't move if we're too comfortable. Many are the times that I've had people come up and say, I want a double portion of your spirit. And I say, do you want a double portion of my trouble? Because you can't get a double portion of my spirit until you can stand a double portion of my trouble.
You know what I can't stand when I hear Christians say, if it was the Lord's will, I would have had some money by now. You can't dump that on God.
Too many people in society fall back on the word luck, not knowing the circumstances of someone else's success. And let me tell you how insulting that sounds to somebody who has literally grinded to build something worthwhile. When you say that guy got lucky, you're telling yourself subconsciously that you believe that you are not in control of your circumstances. You weren't pointing out how lucky he was when he couldn't pay his bills. Or how about when he's working on weekends and holidays when you're out celebrating with your family? Where were you?
See, we sit back and hate on people when it's not them having that is our enemy. It's us not moving that is.
Quit believing in luck and start believing in work.
You can believe in God all you want, but if you don't work, man, it ain't going to happen. He said faith without works is dead.
The only thing that performs a miracle of increase called equity is called putting wisdom into labor. And this labor now can perform a miracle. Number one, do what you can. Get a list of the stuff you could do, you haven't done, postpone, and start cleaning that up. Don't walk like other people walk. Don't postpone like other people postpone.
Do what you're going to do and do it now. If you put everything off till everything get right, when I get all my ducks lined up, is that right? What if it's not duck season?
Whatever your hands find to do, do it with all your might and do it with all your power.
You've got to fight to put all your efforts and energy into things that's productive and purposeful.
We have traded effectiveness for busyness. And we think because we're busy, we're effective.
Most people are just trying to get through the day. Here's what I want you to be committed to do. Learn to get from the day. Commit yourself to learning. Don't be casual in getting it. Casualness leads to casualties.
You're still breathing. You still got a pulse. You're not a loser. I'm depressed right now. No, you don't have the luxury of being depressed. Keep it moving. Most of us take our talents, our abilities, our skills to the graveyard. Rob the cemetery of your ideas.
Say amen, somebody.
More shit has to get done. That's when the amazing things happen in my life. When I was heartbroken, when I was whatever, everyone's been heartbroken. I can't remember a specific example. I hit the gym harder, right? If something goes wrong with your payment processor, that's when you get fucking inventive. That's business, right? That's when you get inventive. So all the bad things that happen to you as a man, if you're stoic, you get to take unlimited energy. And it's actually interesting because a lot of men want to brag to women because we want to show status. So you want to sit there and brag about all the good things you do, but there is a downside to that. There is a degree of downside. I was in Moldova. No, I take that back. I was in Constanta, Romania 9 years ago before I moved there. And I was in a club and I must have been the only foreign person in the club. And there was a 11 out of 10 Moldovan girl, the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen. And I went over and I tried to talk to her and she said, yeah, I only drink champagne. At the time I didn't have that much money. I said, I only drink champagne. Well, I'm finished drinking for the night, but it's very nice to meet you because I couldn't afford a bottle of champagne. So I had to style it. So I was like, I don't have any, I said, I'll finish drinking for the night. It's very nice to meet you. What's your name? Okay. Nice to meet you. Left the club, whatever. Next day I came, I saw her on this table, champagne show. Next table, champagne show. And while she was doing all this, we were kind of catching each other's eye, looking a little bit, And a couple times I caught her at lunch. Constanta's like a beach town. I caught her at lunch. I spoke for a little bit. And she kept asking me for champagne. I was like, listen, you are absolutely gorgeous. I think you and I are going to have a long, happy future together, but I'm not going to buy you champagne. Heartbreak is unlimited energy. So is depression. So is rage. So is sadness. All these negative emotions they tell you to collapse behind. It's like people talk like, Bruce Lee says, be like water. And people see that as be fluid and just go with the flow. I disagree. If you're like water, you're necessary for life. You are scary when you're enraged. You're powerful. You're beautiful when you're calm. You're so many things when you're like water, right? So if I'm enraged, it's like water behind a dam. You just got to put the dam in place and you got to get the turbo, the hydroelectrics, but don't tsunami your life. Put the energy somewhere.
I don't like it. If I don't like something, that's enough. I don't need any more justification than I don't like it. Yep. Right. And I think a lot of guys don't get that. Maybe you can help.
One is that this is the most important thing is that women are never single. Mm-hmm. A woman is never single. The idea of a woman for like a man going 6 or 7 months without talking to, dating, fucking an ex, messaging some guy. They are constantly either talking to a guy, sleeping with a guy. Even if they're not fucking anyone, they're talking to 5 or 6 guys on Instagram. Yep. Women are never single, which means every single time you get a girl, you're taking her from other guys. She likes you the most, which also means that even if she's with you, when she's around other men, she's still poachable. Would you want your girl being friends with me? No, you wouldn't, because you know what I'm going to do. So this is the first thing. So women are never single. So this is why the idea of her hanging around with a bunch of dudes is not acceptable in the first place. And she's going to come out and go, they're just my friends. You may pretend to think they don't want to sleep with you because you know they do. You may pretend to think that, but they don't view you as a friend. This is the first thing. The second thing, women will come at you and say, why are you jealous? I say, no, I'm not jealous. I'm territorial about things I care about. For the same reason, she goes, well, but don't you trust me? It has nothing to do with trust. Yep. I trust the locks on my Lamborghini, but I wouldn't let people try and break in. I'd say, get the fuck away from my car.
Right.
It's not yours. So for the same reason, even though I trust the security system on my car, and I trust, even though I don't trust her, I'll say I do. I trust your internal security system. I'm not going to let people be disrespectful to me as a man and openly try and poach something that's mine. Right. That's disrespectful. I'll message you. We'll be sitting in the same room. WhatsApp. This is people. Loose lips sink ships. Doesn't matter if you're doing nothing wrong. You gotta be careful who you're talking around. They listening to shit. And in the modern world, they record shit. Like you don't want to, even if it's a 0.1% chance, but what's the upside? Like there's no upside. Yeah. So why take the 1% chance? Risk reward. I'm very, very careful. And especially with women, not because they're necessarily malicious, but because women in general don't have to worry about the certain things I'm talking about in terms of professionalism. There's a whole bunch of beautiful, smart, great women out there who just go through life and they're just Instagramming everywhere they go and they forgot their keys and do. And if she's too close to your circle, she's just an in. It's an in to get you. And you gotta be careful. And it's amazing whether it's the 1970s Soviet spies or the 2022 mafia.
When they want to get a dude, it's a chick. You either send a new chick or you watch his old chick or you find his girlfriend. Even a bounty hunter today. Let's say I was wanted by the police and they couldn't find me. Who's his girl? And the women I associate with have enough respect for me to go, okay, I don't know. Fine. Just, I love you. Love you. When they arrested El Chapo's girl, didn't you say I didn't know he was a criminal? I thought he was a chef or some shit. I was like, perfect. She doesn't even know lie anymore. He's a chef. He told me he's a chef. He's a chef.
He's a billionaire chef.
He's a chef.
What did happen though, like I said earlier, is when you have experience with lots of different apples, you know what a good one and a bad one is. So when we say we all had that girl we messed up when we were young, if I found another girl with those qualities, I certainly wouldn't mess it up. You need experience to understand what you have to value it. If you don't have experience, you don't value what you have. So the original question is a really good one of whether men are chained and enslaved by their desires or whether they need to sleep with lots of women. I think in the modern world, you need experience and you need choices and you need options. But if you live by the sword, you die by the sword. If you're going to be the guy who's also out there in the club and sleeping with lots of girls, talking to lots of girls, there's going to be times you lose a girl that you don't want to lose. You can't be a coward about it. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. There's up and down. There's rain and sunshine. You have to be that man who's going to go through it all. And then when you've been through enough of it, like I have, like I said, if I find a beautiful girl now who's a 10 and deletes and doesn't want Instagram, that's worth more to me than 1,000 stupid girls. Yeah. Well, emotions are feedback. The idea that men don't feel emotions is incorrect. We feel emotions. I would actually argue we feel emotions with certain emotions stronger than women. I would argue that we feel heartbreak stronger than women. I would argue we feel anger like a woman could never understand. I would argue we are extremely emotional. Rage, pure rage. Well, it's feedback. So when you get the feedback, it's all about how you internalize it and how you process it. Right? It's having stoicism's not feeling emotions. It's feeling the emotion and going, okay, why is this happening? How much does this really matter? What's the most intelligent move on the chessboard? All of this is my fault. But the Bugatti on my drive is my fault. And the yacht is my fault. The private jet's my fault. So it's all my fault. So I take the good with the bad. I take all responsibility for absolutely everything, including if a woman leaves me, if a woman stays, if I end up heartbroken, if I end up filled with rage, I take responsibility for that. If something happens to me that makes me enraged, I will take responsibility. Why has this happened to me? Why do I feel this way? How did I end up in this position? Is this healthy in this scenario? And sometimes it is. If you lose, no matter how well you played, if you lose, at some point you made a mistake. Even if it's the most minor mistake, you made a mistake. So you learn to understand that no matter what happens to you, if you lose a scenario, you made a mistake. I've had scenarios in my life where I was prepared to die to protect somebody else, and I was enraged, and it was healthy. I've also had times where I'm in a room by myself, enraged, sitting there going, this is no good for anybody. I need to just calm the fuck down. So emotions are feedback, but stoicism is the ability to process them. And that's what you need to be learn as a man. You're never going to be able to turn them off. You're going to feel them. You have to learn how to process them and turn them into a positive. It's energy. It's unlimited energy. I say this all the time. I say that the biggest periods of transformation in my life is when everything was going wrong. When my life was going good, when life's smooth, then it's semi-hedonistic, pretty relaxed. But when I make my biggest progress, when I really change who I am and change the world, that's when everything's fucked. When things go wrong or I'm feeling things I don't want to feel or bad things are happening, that's when I'm like, okay, I currently cannot sleep. I've completed the day's tasks. I've tried to go to bed. I can't sleep. People message me all the time like, oh, but Tate, you don't know how sad I feel. No, incorrect. I know exactly how sad. Difference is I used it. And you're sitting here still crying, some random guy on email for the fucking third month in a row. That's the difference between you and me, my friend. I was becoming a world champion kickboxer. And she kept asking me for champagne. And I was like, listen, you are absolutely gorgeous. I think you and I are going to have a long, happy future together. But I'm not going to buy you champagne. I'll tell you why later. I'll put mystery on it. So I can't tell you broke, right? You got a mystery spin. So I'm going to tell you why I don't buy champagne later. It's a long and interesting story. Once I can trust you, I'm going to tell you why I won't buy you champagne. You can trust me now. I will tell you. Not yet. Style it off. Anyway, as we got to know each other across the summer, eventually when we became friends, she came clean. She works for the club. She gets commission on champagne. Of course. The girls in the club, you're buying champagne for this thing. She gets a commission per bottle. What was interesting is this. She had on her phone a system. So she'd meet you. You'd buy her drinks the first night. You'd go a separate date. The second night, you'd buy her drinks. Third day, she'd send a pre-decide already in her notes
how you live far away and she can't fall in love again. She's only been with one man her whole life. She falls in love with you. She's going to have her heart broken and she's scared. And then she'll ghost you for 3 days. Then eventually after begging, you'll get her back, but she wants to come, but not on her own because she's scared. She wants to bring 3 friends and she'll go to this restaurant. She wants to drink this champagne. Boom, boom. A commission. And she'll show me in her Facebook message, every dude, playbook, every fucking guy. I don't know if that was deliberately driven by heartbreak. I think I was just younger and I had less serious motivations. And I wasn't as famous and I wasn't as rich and I was less interested in. So it's not just my current situation that makes me say this. I would say this to any man. If your woman wouldn't wait for you if you went to jail for 5 years, why are you with her? Why? If she wouldn't wait, I know she's hot. I know she's funny. I know she makes you laugh. But if you can't sit in that jail cell with 100% certainty that she's not out with her friends, them in her ear, talking shit, watching Sex and the City, whatever it is, and her ending up with some other guy, why are you even buying her dinner? For what, sex? Like that loyalty to me is the only thing left that's valuable. When me and Tristan were in jail, we were sitting there saying we have it so much better than most guys. Because most guys in jail, imagine you're a normal person, you go to jail. Who's feeding your family? Who's paying the rent? Who's feeding your kids? I said, Tristan, we're in jail and we're suffering, but everybody we love is good. I'm a man. I'm supposed to suffer. I'll sit here with the cockroaches. If that means all my kids eat, everyone I care about eats, my mother's fed, my mother has a house, roof over her head. Everybody has everything they want. Only person suffering is me. I'll take that all day. Most men who go to jail can't say that. Another thing that gave me absolute peace of mind is the women who love me are waiting for me. Imagine you go to jail and you're completely heads over heels in love with a woman, but you know deep in your heart that she's out in the club and she's stealable. We talk about thoughts you can't get out of your head in jail. If you had the nagging thought in your head, I loved her, she cheated on me before, maybe she cheated again, she hasn't written me in 3 days, and then plus jail. That's why they're all crying. That's why all the men in there were sobbing. Their wives are either fucking someone else or the bills ain't paid. It's not just his situation, it's everything else. Yeah. So now if you're going to say to me, what do I respect in a woman? I respect a woman who's going to wait for me. I have no interest in a woman. Oh, she's funny, she's cool, she's hot. Don't care. Don't care. Is she going to wait for me? And I also know, because of my experience, which ones would and which ones wouldn't. I'm not stupid. Because they'll all say they would. They'll all say they'll wait because they're on the jet. But I know which ones are lying. Because enough women have lied to me. I've seen it. So you do need that experience. But once you have the experience, you start looking for completely other things.
And there's 2 choices. I either care about you and I'm territorial. Right. Or I don't care about you and I'm not.
Exactly.
You can make the choice. If you really want to hang on those dudes, I'm not even saying we can't talk. I'm not saying that. No problem. But don't expect me to give a fuck about you in the way I could give a fuck about you. And when you tell women, this is one of the key things. When you tell women, I will care about you less if you act X way, it's very hard for them to act that way because they want you to care.
Right.
They want that emotional energy from you. You're like, you're making a choice that's going to end in a detriment to how much I give a fuck about you. And if they make that choice, you have to act accordingly. If she makes that choice and you keep acting like you love her, then she ain't going to feel it. She has to feel it. You know, this is the second thing about the whole thing that's really crazy. This whole male friends thing. Third thing, it's never been normal. This is some new think bullshit. In the 1960s and 70s, it's never been normal. And I always say to girls, I say, does your mother hang around with a bunch of guys? She's like, what do you mean? Well, your mother's with your dad most of the time. Yeah. Is your mom's with your dad? What would your dad say if your mom went out partying with a bunch of men?
Right.
I say that, and they actually go, yo, no. The idea of their mother doing that actually offends them. Right. Like, no, like that's not. So why the fuck are you doing it?
Women have a special type of energy around them. They're fascinating. They're wonderful in their own special way. And they make life beautiful. You're taking a walk on the beach, it's better with a woman. You're laying in the park looking up at the sky, it's better with a woman. You're at dinner, it's better with a woman. You're at a club with your male friends. You want women around. Women are the seasoning to life. Women have a special type of energy. And I love women. Let me explain something to you. There's no trick. There's no life hack. There's no being in a position where all the women you meet or come into contact with want to have sex with you. That doesn't exist for any man on the planet besides Brad Pitt and a few others. If you want to be an elite level player, you have to work at it. This is what I explain to everybody. Why is Floyd Mayweather the best boxer in the world? Why is Roger Federer the best tennis player in the world? Because they train and work and perfect their skills, and that's why they are the best in their field. I am exactly the same. I'm not some guy who women just all want and they chase me and message me on Instagram and want to come over to my house. No, I make a conscious effort every single day. I wake up, I plan, I make my moves like I'm on a chessboard, and I keep not only my 6 relationships going, but I have plenty of time to meet new women. A question I'm asked a lot is, how do you meet women? So the key to approaches is to keep your number of approaches very, very low. Aim like a sniper, not a flamethrower. If you see a beautiful girl, you're in a high-end spot, you want to add her to your harem, you want to add her to your collection, even if you're in your local bar. She could be a beautiful barmaid. You make your one approach, you try to get her contact details, and you then work on that lead. Mass approaching every woman who you could talk to is the enemy of an elite playboy like myself, because you need the hours of the day. You need your hours in the day to work, to do business, to do other things that are important, that add to the lifestyle that attracts beautiful women. You can't afford to waste all your day walking around, walking up to girls, asking for their Facebooks, asking for their Instagrams, asking for their numbers. It's pathetic. You need to make your approaches when it's approaching time. You're out with your friends, you're at a nice restaurant, you see a group of girls, you're out at a nice bar, you see a girl by the bar, she catches your eye. Then you go over and you make your approach. I make no more than 2 or 3 approaches a week. Approaches my way is completely different, you see. I don't march around trying to get women to have sex with me by talking to them. I have built a lifestyle. I have built a life which puts me in contact with beautiful women. I'm around them. I'm in the best clubs. I'm in the best restaurants. I'm in the best bars. I'm in the best spots in the world. I'm flying all over the place. The highest level women in the world are not in your local mall, gentlemen. They're in some bar in Cannes or Monte Carlo. And if you're not there, you're not going to get them. Another way you can meet women is by having a group of women with you. Now, having a group of women with you in a town or city where these women are from, it acts like a magnet. If you have 3 or 4 girls from New York with you while you are in New York and you're taking them to the best clubs and the best bars and the best spots, the girls they know congregate around you. Having girls with you acts like a magnet. I do not go out with just men. I go out with women every single time. I don't care if they're my friends, my girlfriends, girls I'm sleeping with. I bring women when I go out because they're friends, their girlfriends, their mates, they all want to come over and talk. And that is a way that I meet a lot of women. Dating apps are nowhere near as powerful as Instagram. Everyone who's anyone, every attractive girl in the world is on Instagram. And every guy who's an elite level guy, every guy with some clout, some presence, some money, some talent, some skill, something to offer is on Instagram too. Instagram is the most powerful dating app in the world. You could be the most handsome guy in the world. You could be a Ferrari driver. You could be in super yachts in all your pictures and private jets. If you have a boring profile picture and 200 people following you, it's not that the girl likes you for the number of followers. It's you are not going to be seen. You're going to send a message to this beautiful girl. She's going to scroll down her messages. Oh, who's this? This guy has 20,000 followers. Let me read this guy's messages. She's going to skip right past you. The importance of building up a nice Instagram page when it comes to game is exceptionally important in today's world. Again, like with Instagram, my Tinder pictures are me next to my supercars, me by the pool, me looking good, having trained hard. I try to get all the attention I can from the social media, and my Tinder pictures are my Instagram pictures. Women will seek you out, not just in the real world, but in the online world more so than ever before. Women care about looks. They do. I'm not the best looking guy in the world, but I try my hardest. My beard isn't trimmed. My hair isn't cut nicely. But most of the time, I'm walking around with a nice trimmed, razored beard. My haircut is always on point. I've gelled my hair. I've dressed nicely. I'm wearing a designer shirt, nice watch, nice shoes. I'm presentable to the world. I work out. I'm physically fit. I'm not always in the best shape, but I do my push-ups every morning. I do my boxing. I do my training. Whatever training you do, you have to do it. Fitness is important. How fit do you look? It is basic human evolutionary biology. Oh, look, this big, strong, handsome guy, he'll give me nice children. Women may not think that exactly in their heads, but it's a big part of what makes women want to have sex with you. If you disregard it, if you think, oh, well, I'm rich, it doesn't matter, I'm a big, fat, ugly fuck. I've got loads of money, women will want to fuck me. They won't. They won't. They may fuck you if you pay them, but that isn't what this is about. That's not being a playboy. That's being a customer. And I'm not teaching you how to be a customer. So yes, you do have to be presentable. You have to look your best. Train as much as you can. Make sure your hair is the way that you like it. I don't know. Don't get your hair cut if you have long hair, whatever. Do whatever makes you look good. Fitness is essential because it's something that women desire. So you take that general rule and you think, okay, I want to be as attractive as I can to as many women as possible. Don't be a fat, lazy f. Rule number one, if you're a fat, lazy f, get to the gym. You're not going to be able to live like me until you do. Get into reasonable shape, at least. Being the fat, lazy f is not attractive to women. I am not every woman's type. A lot of women look at me and think, you know what? I don't like him. I don't like the way he looks. Don't like the way he's shaped. Don't like his height. I'm too tall, maybe, for some women. Yeah, if they're short. I don't like this. I don't like that. Cool. I'm not every woman's type. Neither are you. Nobody is. I know some handsome dudes. They're not every woman's type. They can't be. However, being fit makes it far more likely that you are going to be the type of the women you meet. So absolutely, this is an essential rule. Being a man in demand is fitness. Look your best, train hard. Women like to feel safe. They like to feel protected. They like when you put your big arms around them. They like if you can pick them up. Women love that shit. Get to the gym.
If I saw a beautiful woman sitting there at the mall sipping a coffee and I was dressed in, my beard was all messy. I had a hood up and I was in like sweatpants and shit. The confidence, you haven't maximized your own confidence, if you know what I'm saying. When you're dressed really, really well, you just had a fresh haircut, you feel like a different person. So it's how it makes you feel. Women will do their makeup and do their hair and put on a nice dress, and then their personality, you'll know when you hang out with them, seems different. Mm-hmm. They're more full of their confidence. They're more their natural self. Mm-hmm. People are much more likely to listen to what you have to say, and also makes you more memorable. People take you more seriously. People are more likely to stop and listen to what you have to say. So also it burns you into people's minds and memories much more. When you are dressed very well, you aren't in a place, you become the place. You become part of the ambiance of the place. You're also doing your part to add to the aesthetics of a nice location.
Now, when it comes to dating, I know what some of you think. Women love money. No. Women love fun, and fun costs money. If you're broke, you're not going to get as many women. Why? You don't pay the women. I don't give women money. Good girls don't care if you have money. They're not going to ask you for money. But if you don't have any money, all you can do is invite them to your apartment. Money is important because money facilitates fun. You can take a girl out in your nice car. That's fun for her. I have a fully stocked bar in my cigar lounge in my house. They can come here, they can have some drinks. Money facilitates fun. So when it comes to dating, yes, you need money. Trying to impress a woman with a supercar doesn't work. So a Ferrari can make an amazing date. A jacuzzi can make an amazing date. I don't know what else you have. A guitar, a surfboard, whatever your talents are, they can add to a date massively. If you have a Lamborghini like I do, you don't say, oh, you want to go out in my Lamborghini? Talking about money is narcissistic. Talking about money is not attractive when it's one-on-one with a female. It's not cool. What you just say is, let's go for a drive. You take her for a drive, then you're in the Lamborghini. All it is a extra surprise on top of things. Never approach a girl and say, hi, I have a Lamborghini. Would you like to come for a drive with me? Never say, here, come to my house and I'm going to play the guitar and sing a song for you. That sounds gay. However, if you have your guitar on display in your room and you take her back to your house and she sees your guitar and goes, oh, play me something. Okay, you know what? Cool, I'll play you a little something. They already know who you are. They like you enough to meet you. Cool, everything else is a bonus on top. If they're meeting you, you don't have to say, oh, I could play the guitar and I have a Ferrari and I have a jet ski at my lake house. But if they want to meet you, hang out with them. First have coffee. Then add these things in. They're just bonuses, things that are going to make her smile, things that are going to excite her, and things that are going to lock her in to you even further than she's already invested.
Women chase excellence. Women don't necessarily want someone who's rich or someone who's smart. They want someone who's excellent. The top tier men in the world, you could take someone like Floyd Mayweather who can't read, and he's 5'5", but he's the best in the world at boxing. That means he's an excellent man, and women chase after that. So there's no real rule to women. I would say that women chase excellence, and you have to work on every single aspect of yourself if you want to attract a large plethora of women.
The one mistake guys make that elite level players do not is they text too much. Let me explain to you. It's a very simple mathematical problem. If I spend 3 or 4 hours a day talking to a girl on WhatsApp, how many girls can I maintain that level of conversation with? 2, 3. I need to be talking to 15 girls at a time. And I have all my girls filed in my phone. I need to talk to all of them all the time. How do I do it? A few messages a day. Every 2 hours, I'll open WhatsApp. I'll reply to every single girl. Another 2 hours passes. I'll reply to every single girl. It's only a couple minutes every 2 hours. You don't lock yourself down into huge conversations. If you are talking on text about her interests, what she likes doing, why are you single, her life story, any of this shit is date material. You want to be sitting at a dinner table or sitting at a coffee bar having that conversation. She's met you. She finds you moderately attractive, at least. She gave you her contact details. The whole text game is aiming at closing a date. Hey, how are you? It was good to see you the other night. Continue with your business. A couple hours passed. She's replied, yeah, it was really good. It was a really night out. You know, I'd like to see you again and get to know you a bit better. You free tomorrow? Let's go for coffee. Boom. That's it. That's all you need. The goal is simple. Make sure it's all orientated to getting her on a date. What kind of food you like? Perfectly okay question. Oh, I like this. I like that. Oh, you like Japanese food? That's cool. I know a really great Japanese restaurant in town. Have you ever been to this? Yeah, it's my favorite restaurant. Okay. I'll take you there tomorrow. Or no, I've never been there. Oh, you got to try it. I'll take you there tomorrow. When you're maintaining relationships like I am and your time is limited, you have to be sure not to burn your time. I call it burning time. You're with your girlfriend for 3 hours. All you have is 3 hours. Netflix? No! So I'm telling you, porn, masturbation, throw them out the window. You want to be an elite level playboy? Be a fucking man. You don't get sex for one day? Cool, you'll live. Do 50 press-ups before you go to sleep. Go out the next day hungrier. It's easy for me to just spend time, burn the hours watching Netflix, but she will not be as happy. Guys, Tiger Woods isn't the best golf player in the world because he sits on his couch watching Netflix. Muhammad Ali was not the best heavyweight boxer of all time because he sat on his couch watching TV. You want to be an elite level playboy, you want to collect these women, then you have to keep them happy. Do not engage in pointless arguments and do not engage in pointless conversation. If you have a relationship, if you're going to get caught cheating, don't let it be with some girl who lives in California that you're flirting with online for no reason. It makes you look like a simp. Do not burn your hours cheating on your girlfriend emotionally with girls far away, with girls you haven't got a chance with girls with boyfriends who don't take you seriously. Don't waste your time with this stuff, man.
There are some times where I've been talking to a girl for maybe a month and we have our second date or first date. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you know what, this one's in the bag. And it gets to 11 o'clock and she's like, you know what, I'm going to have to get up early tomorrow. I should really get a taxi home. I'm the least pushy man. There's nothing attractive about being pushy because you don't understand her. Maybe she's on her period. It's that time of the month and she thinks, you know what, I'd love to fuck Tristan, but I'm just not going to do that tonight in his house. I'd be embarrassed. I'd be ashamed. Me being pushy is just going to undo the month of hard work that I've done being charming and being nice and being kind because I'm not getting laid. So, first circumstance, you don't go home with her. Yeah, always be a gentleman. Don't worry, let me get you a taxi home because why would you burn the hard work you've done and not bother setting up a second date? But it's not just that. I would just rather be nice. Being a gentleman is very, very important. There doesn't have to be a winner. When you're going on a date with a woman and you're looking to sleep with her and she's looking to have a good time, you could both go home happy.
Most guys are looking for a quick fix. You're looking for a secret, something I'm going to tell you, a magic word, a spell, an incantation that's going to make you be surrounded with women who want to have sex with you all the time. It doesn't exist. It does not exist. It is a recipe. It's a recipe which includes lots of hard work. And this is something I call being a man in demand, or the 5 F's. I've got 5 F's. They are fitness, finance, fun, free time, the F word. Those are the 5 F's. And that is the recipe of what makes you a man who women want to. The most important part of dating when you are an elite playboy is something that you guys probably wouldn't guess. It is time management. Time management is the key to dating multiple women, to having a harem of women. You have to manage your time. You need your time. You need your time to work out. You need your time to make money. You need your hours of your day. You can't go marching around malls or marching around parks trying to go up to every woman who you speak to. You actively get searched out when you're an elite level guy. And this is what I mean one more time when I say you have to train and you have to work at being an elite playboy. That's the key. So, if you're not being scouted out, if you're not being hunted, if you're not being searched for, what exactly are you missing, guys? Stand up, look down. Can you see your dick? No, then you're too fat. Lose some weight. Women care about looks too. I'm not the best looking guy in the world, sure, but I make an effort. I try. I work out. I get into shape. All these women wouldn't like me as much if I was 20 pounds heavier or 30 pounds heavier. Of course they wouldn't. If you are lazy and you're broke and your Instagram looks terrible and you're fat as fuck and you look like shit, and you're not smart, you're not interesting, you're not funny, you're busy all the time, how many women do you think you're going to get? Zero. It doesn't matter what you apply of what I know. You have to be a man who has some level of demand about him to be an elite level playboy. You do not give women money, ever. You do not give them money for sex. You do not give them money to show off. You don't give women money. That's bullshit. However, your financial situation creates an aura of fun. Women love fun. I have a swimming pool in my house. Women love that. In the summer, they're coming here, jumping in the pool, taking their bikinis off. Now, are they thinking, this pool, 28,000 euros this cost. Oh, this pool costs so much money. Tristan has money. Wonderful. No. They're thinking, wow, swimming pool. That's it. Finance and your financial situation makes you fun. Now, you have to be entertaining. Now, there are ways that nerds think you could be entertaining that don't work. Having a Lamborghini, for example. Having a Lamborghini does not make women want to have sex with you. It makes little boys want to drive around in your car. Women don't give a shit about driving around in your Lamborghini that much unless they like you. You have to make it fun. Having a supercar gets you an opening conversation. You park at the club, you walk inside. Is that your car? If you reply, yeah, that's my car. It has 600 horsepower and I got the tires custom from Germany and the body kit is actually from a custom body shop in Bucharest and I changed the color and I've got a special steering wheel. The girl's gonna be cool, see you later. If you're a boring twat, it doesn't matter what car you drive. It doesn't matter what car you drive. Hi, is that your car? No, it's yours. I'm going to get drunk tonight. You're driving me home. Yeah? Cool. Obviously, you don't really let her drive your car. But say something funny. I just came up with that off the top of my head. Say something witty. Say something entertaining. Being a millionaire, having nice things, having cool things, it doesn't get you pussy. It gets you a 5-second opener. And if you squander that, if you waste it, it was all for nothing. You have to be fun. Women don't care about money. They care about what's entertaining. Now, when I was broke, I used to have no money. I would be funny. I'd take girls on a date. I'd say, you didn't wear high heels on our date in my Volkswagen Golf. They'd be like, no, where are we even going? Well, you know what? You're not wearing high heels. I'm going to take you to somewhere suitable. McDonald's. This was my routine. I go to McDonald's. I had a few pounds to my name. I rolled on the window. Hi, I need an ice cream McFlurry. Yeah, bring me an ice cream McFlurry, but put extra love in it. What did you say? Extra love. Extra toppings? No, extra love. I'm on a date. I need to make her fall in love with me. Okay. The girl's laughing her ass off. She thinks it's hilarious. I give her ice cream. Is it working? Are you in love with me yet? Why'd you take me to McDonald's? Well, you weren't wearing high shoes. Ha ha ha. I didn't have any money. Make them laugh. Make them enjoy their time with you. And this is what I said about dating earlier. You have to implant yourselves in their mind. Wow, I had a wonderful time That could be on her mind for 2 days while you're f***ing your girlfriends and you're f***ing other women. That could be on her mind all week while she's working. Maybe she's busy and she can't wait to see you again. You have to be fun. Fun is important. Now, this is very subjective. It varies from man to man. I don't know where you are. I don't know where you live. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you know. I don't know who you know. But you know how to have fun in your own city, I'm sure, or your own town. You know how to show a girl a good time. Don't be boring. That is essential. And if you're a boring guy, work on it. If you're broke, work on it. If you're unfit, work on it.
Women are wonderful, and they're good for so much more than just. Women are the single greatest thing and the best thing in the world, and they're the best thing about life. And if you have a simplistic caveman mindset where you think, I need these girls, I need to have sex with all these girls, I think you're going to miss out on it. And I know I covered this earlier in the podcast, but there's so many amazing things about women. And I think that women need men and men need women.